Hi everyone, my name is Vuvu and this is Vuvu Vena Reads. If you are new on here, please consider pressing the red subscribe button down below. I share content on this platform that has to do with literature, mainly African literature or literature by African authors. I share vlogs, reading vlogs with you guys and other bookish content. So if that's something that you're curious about, please consider pressing the red subscribe button down below and joining the Vuvu Vena Reads family. And if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back fam, and thank you so very much for joining me once more. On today's video, I am doing a review of No Be From Hia by Natasha Omokhodion-Kalulu Banda. This book was sent to me by Blackbird Books for review purposes.
So Vuvu Vena _reads is an amazing book reviewer, also YouTuber. She reviews books on YouTube, and if I'm not mistaken, she also has a blog as well. So please, if for your connection with literature, get in touch with or follow at VUVUVENA_reads. She is based in South Africa, and I think it is also extremely important to follow literary content creators who are based outside of the West and in continental Africa, because they do a really good job of bridging the gap.
We appreciate you, Vuvu, for bringing us Turning Pages and for bringing us your BookTube channel.
You know, this is a chance for people to actually see some people that I really enjoy.
Please consider pressing the red subscribe button down below, and if you are returning, welcome back fam.
Vuvu, you're amazing. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, so now that I've burnt my tongue with tea, oh my gosh, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. A problem. Okay, so now that I have damaged my tongue, let's just hope that I can still speak through this video. No Be From Hia by Natasha Omokhodion-Kalulu Banda. We go on a journey of cultural and identity discovery through the lens of three main characters. The characters are Margaret Bupe Kombe, who happens to be the grandmother to the other two characters. The one character is Maggie Oyomide. So the one character is Maggie Oyomide, who is the daughter to Margaret's daughter Stella, and the second character is Bupe Kombe, who is the daughter to Margaret's firstborn child CJ. Now we are told a story of a generational story from the perspective of marriage as well as conflict through the lens of Margaret, and then we are told a story of how everything that occurred in her life culminated into the lives of these two young people and how they navigated their world, and obviously the effects and the damage caused on their lives of her children as well as her grandchildren in the wake of everything that occurred before she passed on. We start the story off with the tragedy of her passing, and we then are taken on a journey of discovering how a woman of that nature, who had raised such strong, staunch kids who have infected that quality onto their grandkids, could actually die in the manner in which she dies. This story cannot be isolated from her story cannot be isolated from her marriage to Charles, who is a main character in a sense in the story as well, because it is what they formulated together in relationship that has led us to the point in which we have been given the glimpse of No Be From Hia. This book by Natasha is truly a gem, and I don't know how much justice I'll do it in this review. Like, that's why I'm a little bit nervous, because I absolutely loved every single thing that she did with this book. The time traveling between the two realities for Maggie and for her grandkids, the family dynamics in terms of the relationship of her 3 children, CJ, Stella, and I forget the last born's name, but it starts with Keiko. I'll call him Kobe, sorry, I don't think that's his name. But their relationship dynamics, the effects of freedom fighting in the families of freedom fighters, and just the reality and the yearning for home and what home actually is, and where are we actually from. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, is home the original place of birth, or is home a person or any place that you feel like could be created into that? She brings through so many profound themes into this story. We also get queer representation in this one, which I absolutely love the fact that she dropped that in there. We get our conversations around parenting and the choices that parents make, especially the choices that parents make from a place of pain and what that could result in. We talk to issues of infidelity and this idea of strong Black women fighting for the world, not even their families, fighting for a cause, wanting to create a world in which their children could inhabit. We also get the sense of parents wanting to allow their kids to discover themselves in an unjust world, to feel the pains, to not always be there protecting and hovering around them, to let them make the mistakes for themselves so that they can become who they are meant to be. We also get this idea of paying penance for your sins, if that makes sense, for the sense of working your guilt away, and also the idea of something always having to be somebody else's fault. We are taken on a spectacular journey here by Natasha that I am so glad I was able to go on. She tackles other issues as well, mental health issues at that. There's issues of substance abuse, there's issues of suicide, there's this whole idea of not being enough, right? Of always working in an environment where there is somebody who could be better than you and you feeling like you are not enough. And she juxtaposes the 2 characters, the grandkids, very well. They are almost foils of each other. Her writing style is very rich, it's very flavored, it's very grounded. You almost get the sense of, you know, those I want to say African movies that have like that sepia tint to them, that give you this nostalgic feeling of belonging, right? She does this so well with this. I don't even know what that's called, okay, but she did it so very well. You almost felt like this was a reel that was playing through your mind the whole time that you were reading this, and done so well that you did not only see the pictures, but you wanted it to be a part of you. Other themes that you will come across here are broken families, loss, and like I said, this idea of what is home, and this uprooting from a place where you thought could be home, only to rediscover what home could actually be. The characters that we find are placed in or have been displaced or uprooted from their original homes do have a sense of rebellion about them in how they are created, in terms of how Natasha creates them, because there is still a lingering, but a strong lingering of not conforming, as though they are rebellious of the places that they have been put. So we see characters from Jamaica, we see characters from Nigeria, we see characters from Zambia in this tale, and the ones that are not based in their home countries have not lost themselves, even in a Western society. And I think that is a strong commentary on Natasha's part. So it talks to the issue, this rebellion and this insistence on remaining who we are, talks to the issue of or the subject of identity, and that identity is interwoven very well. There is an object that acts as a talisman throughout the story, like sort of like, but not as intensely, but I'm just thinking sort of like the ring in the Lord of the Rings. So you have this talisman that weaves the generations together, and through which discovery occurs. And I think that using an object to uncover truths about oneself is quite something that that Natasha was speaking to. If anything, most African families do have totems through which they use as an identity element in their lives, in their cultures or in their tribes. And I think her use of this talisman in the story was also reminiscent of that part of being African. The other beauty in this book, which is something that I absolutely loved, is that we grow up being taught directly or indirectly that true happiness, true financial wealth, and true accomplishment happens by visiting the West, right? By relocating to the West in pursuit of the greener grass that's on the other side. This sense of our worlds have nothing to give us, and we must always be chasing, or we must always be in need of something Western in order for us to feel accomplished, to feel like we have made something of ourselves. But what Natasha does with this book is she turns that all around, and she says, in fact, if you want anything of worth, of any precious standing, you will find it where you have been rooted. And she does it so well. She makes Zambia, she juxtaposes Zambia against London, and she makes it the place to be. She makes it the place through which fulfillment for all these characters can come. And she does it so very well that you get to ask yourself as well, what have you missed in your surrounding of your home country or nation that you had thought, if I could just leave here, I could find something better there? And she's saying it's all been here. In fact, you are from here, in the sense that this is all you need, and no one here will question your right to be here. For me, No Be From Hia is sort of like a love letter to children of and grandchildren of freedom fighters. It is a love letter to millennial African children who have had to grapple this idea of being westernized but still staying true to who they are, and navigate it in a world where it's not always easiest to choose Africa above West. And it's also a love letter to human beings, in the sense that conflict and anger and broken relationships in families happens to everyone, and there's never ever a moment where forgiveness is not an option. It might take some longer than others, it might cause damage along the ways, but there's always an opportunity to introspect and to remember that we belong to each other. And I absolutely love what she's done with this. It's definitely one of the books that I will keep revisiting. The writing alone is enough for me to say I will keep revisiting this one. This was my first 5-star read of the year. I absolutely enjoyed this one. And with that said, I have nothing more to say. Thank you so very much for tuning in and choosing me. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, I love you very much. Bye now.